we're looking for progress, and progress in the moment is how do we take this most recent stretch, which I think has been pretty strong performances from the guys, better results, and take it into tomorrow in the first 3 games of the competition, with hopefully more on the back end of it. But we'll look at where we're at. There's been some guys that have accumulated some minutes, and it's really no different than if this was a league game. How do we manage it? How do we stay fresh? How do we keep the relationships growing as we get into this, stretch run here of Leagues Cup and league action? So, clearly, I'm not going to say what we're doing, but I do think it's about consistency, and we'll take that into consideration, or have with our approach, and then trying to put a strong group on the field, because, like I said, this is a very strong Monterrey team, and that's been evident, I think, in the start to their season with just their play.
Leads me very well into my next question. It's early in their season, but they've played through the Club World Cup. I think it's a couple games into the Liga MX season.
Yep.
You're familiar with them from the Champions Cup a little bit. I know you've usually said that kind of distance doesn't give you much information, but what have you seen from them, and what are you expecting out of the really strong Monterrey team this week?
I think with the ball, they've got playmakers all over the field. Guys on the back line, certainly with Ramos leading. Both, you could see a vocal presence, but also with his play. How they're able to play under pressure, passing range, balls over distance, balls under, passes under pressure. It starts with the keeper, excellent under pressure. They're not afraid to play. And then with teams that have stepped up, once they've broken that pressure, how dynamic they are moving to goal, and how quickly they can attack. And that's been evident, with the attack, the front three with Berterame, Canales, and Corona being the consistent three along the front line. The way those three work together is excellent, and can beat you with speed, can beat you on the dribble, can beat you with a pass. So that's been impressive on their end. I think they compete the right way. I think defensively they've stepped up their pressure in different ways, but when their pressure's broken, their recovery behind the ball has been excellent. So if you're attacking with speed, you got to understand the recoveries are coming. If it's not the moment to attack space, understanding how to slow play down. So those are some of the things we've seen early on from them.
Yeah, we just spoke to Ender. He's excited about contributing as much as he can. How do you see him fitting in during this tournament? And
yeah, it'll be day by day, because he's a new piece, and we of course have an idea of him coming into the group, but you never know how it looks early on. So getting him up to speed and acclimated with his new teammates, new ideas, and see if we can get him in a position to help us. But that's a day by day. What does he look like in training? What is his fitness level? How is he taking information to apply it in real time? So we'll see how he factors in, but he's had a good approach early on. I think his work ethic and his levels of engagement have been good.
And any updates on the guys who have been out lately? Kubo and some of those guys. Any updates on them?
They'll still be unavailable for tomorrow. Kevin, and Obi. Paul Walters as well.
I just got one more. You mentioned Herman Berterame as a guy who's a talented guy for them. He scored, I think, every goal they've scored in the Liga MX season. What can you do to kind of slow down a guy who's A, very talented, but B, in a great run of form that is coming in with a lot of confidence?
We'll have to understand how to deal with his movement behind. I think he stretches the game and times his run very well. So, if there's no pressure, it's understanding, his strengths and being able to identify those runs. I think in and around goal, you see it in the goals he's scored. The timing of his runs when he can get matched up with defenders and they lose sight of him for a moment. That's where he changes his speed, gets on the end of crosses very well, both in the air and on the ground. So I just think he has a really good feel for how to attack space. And so our guys have seen it, and we can talk all we want, but tomorrow when it's the most important, can we slow down a very dangerous player?
And you mentioned earlier, just with the format of the tournament, there's a lot of, you want to win every game, but tomorrow with the format, there may be more urgency. How do you prepare the guys? It might be, just with the pressure of that.
I wouldn't say there's more urgency. It's the start of a competition where you want to have a good performance, and we're trying to win a game. So we can't look too much past, and we won't look past this because nothing past this matters. If we don't have a good performance, yes, it becomes more challenging to advance. But I think if we have the right approach to the game and we perform at a good level, we position ourselves to win a game, and that's the priority. So from that, we'll just kind of see where we're at, because it's going to be a quick turnaround to Sunday, and a lot of things will factor into what that approach looks like. So hopefully the focus is solely on stepping on the field tomorrow and progressing in a good way and performing in a good way.
We'll wrap up on the Zoom. We'll go to Cameron Naya. Cameron, you can go ahead.
Yep. Hey, Matt. Thanks for the time, as always.
You're welcome.
Just with the new format, obviously, just a few teams are getting out of it into the knockout stages from each league. Is there a specific point total that you guys are thinking might be able to get you guys through? Is that something you're targeting? And kind of after last night's result, has that idea changed, or has your thoughts changed?
No, I'm not putting a number in the guy's mind, because like I just said, it's how do we start strong tomorrow? And you don't know how the other results play out. Obviously, it was heavily in favor of Liga MX, but that was 6 games. So if one league is in control of the performances and the points, who knows what gets you through, from our side. So it's not a point total that you can be certain about. And, if I have to guess, you probably have to win 2 games to advance at a minimum. So while we haven't really addressed it, that's my assumption. But again, you don't know how the other games are going to play out and which league is going to be in control of the competition and the points, if either. And if it's balanced, then obviously it's going to come down to a lot of tiebreakers, I'm guessing, to decide who's getting through. But hopefully we have 3 points after tomorrow to position ourselves in a good way for Sunday. But for me, it's about performing and showing the progress that the group has shown over the last, I would say, month or two, and understanding the difficulties of a very good opponent and knowing how to go about winning a game.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.